Assalamu alaikum boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, people of all ages. Bringing it back to you guys with another Muslim Brothers 101 video. So today I just wanted to talk about a brief explanation of Surah Al-Asr and just show how it links to some other surahs in the 30th chapter of the Quran. So A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Let's get straight into this. So first, Surah At-Takathur comes up. And it says Al-Hakim At-Takathur. Takathur and the title of the surah and Al-Hakim At-Takathur, they both show how humans are just in a constant state of wanting. They always want to hoard up on stuff. They always have a desire. Like we always want to get the new iPhone, we always want the new PlayStation. These things in itself are a loss. Then Surah Al-Humazah comes after Surah Al-Asr, and it talks about كَلَّا لَيُنْبَذَنَّ فِي الْحُطَمَةِ وَمَا أَدْرَاكُمُ الْحُطَمَةِ نَارُ اللَّهِ الْمُوقَدَةِ. It shows about how disbelievers and kafir will be thrown into the fire, and obviously being thrown into the fire is a loss. Then Surah Al-Asr comes in between and says وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Indeed, humans are in a state of loss. So you can see the loss kind of topic is just taking place consecutively between these three surahs. Then we come on how Surah Takathur and Surah Al-Asr are kind of linked here. Surah Takathur talks about ثُمَّ لَا تُسْأَلُنَّ يَوْمَئِذٍ عَنِ النَّعِيمِ. On that day, on the day of judgment, you will be asked about your blessings. And Surah Al-Asr straight away comes after Surah Takathur and shows us the greatest blessing we have. Surah Takathur over there is asking, oh, you will be asked about your blessings, and Surah Al-Asr shows us the biggest blessing we have, which is time. Then we come on to how Surah Takathur is talking about this, this distraction we have, this distraction about just we wanna pile up, we wanna hoard, we want more. We're too busy showing off what we have. Like for example, when you're studying, when you're on your phone, you're distracted from your studying. When you're playing games, you're distracted from salah. So it's these things, you're always distracted from something. But Surah Takathur here just talks about distraction. It shows that we're distracted, but it doesn't show us from what. So we're just overlooking something, we're distracted from something, but we don't know what we're distracted from. And then Surah Al-Asr comes and shows us إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Your iman, your amil salihat, your sabr, your haqq, all these four things, you're being distracted from these four things. These are the four things you're being distracted from. So you can see how Surah Takathur and Surah Al-Asr are here linked. Surah Takathur talks about distraction. Surah Al-Asr shows you what you're distracted from. Then we come on to how Surah At-Tin and Surah Takathur are actually, At-Tin and Surah Al-Asr are kind of linked to each other. So Surah At-Tin and Surah Al-Asr, both of them talk about humans, and both of them talk about good deeds. So both of them have, Surah At-Tin has إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَلَهُمْ أَجْرٌ غَيْرٌ مَمْنُونَ. And Surah Al-Asr has إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. So they're both talking about good deeds. Here they're linked. Then they also both talk about humans. Surah At-Tin says لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. We have created humans in the best possible form. But Surah Al-Asr comes and talks about humans as well, but then says إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ. Humans are in a state of loss. So a question comes to mind. How is it that Surah At-Tin over there is talking about, oh, humans, you have been created in the best possible way. You are qualified for success. But then Surah Al-Asr comes on later and says, guys, you are in a state of loss. And then you think, but how is it? How is it possible? We're qualified, we're the best possible form, but then we're also in a constant state of loss. Why is that happening? So then Surah Al-Asr comes and has the answer right there in the last ayah. It says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. You are in a constant state of loss unless you do these four things. You need to have iman, you need to do good deeds, you need to enjoin in the truth, you need to enjoin in perseverance and patience. These two surahs, it shows how these two surahs are actually linked to each other. How Surah At-Tin talks about how we're made in the best possible form, but in Surah Al-Asr it says you're in a constant state of loss, and you think, why is that? But then Surah Al-Asr just has the answer right there, that you're being distracted. You guys, just look out, you're in a constant state of loss, except if you do these four things. At-Takathur also talks about distraction, and then you realize, oh wait, I'm being distracted from something. What am I distracted from? I'm distracted from these 4 things, and unless I do these 4 things, I will be in loss. And Surah Al-Asr actually has, in the last ayah, it says, إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. In the Arabic language, the word wa actually means and o means or. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hasn't chosen to use o here. He's chosen to use wa, which means you have to have iman, okay? إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. You have to have iman, you have to have good deeds, عَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. You have to have وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ. You have to be enjoined in the truth. وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. You also have to have patience. He didn't say you can have 2 things, you can have sabr and haqq. You don't need to do amil salihat and have iman. He didn't do that. He said wa. He said you have to have all 4 things. All conditions need to be ticked off on your checklist if you don't want to be in a constant state of loss. And the last thing, guys, I just want to talk about is so Surah Al-Asr actually in the last ayah uses the word illa. It says except. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. It says except, and it will always be that the rule is more than the exception. Sorry, I don't know that. For example, if you call your friends over, you'll be like he, and he came except him. Okay, if you're playing you play some sports, you want to tell someone about it, you say I played this, and this sport except this. So you can see that the rule is always more than the exception. The exception is always going to be a minority. So Surah Al-Asr here says, Innal insana lafi khusr. Indeed, all humans are in a state of loss. That is the rule set. The rule is set that all humans are indeed in a state of loss, which shows that the vast majority of humans will be in a state of loss, except those who do these 4 good deeds. Those who have iman, who do good deeds, who have perseverance, who enjoin in the truth. Those are the 4 good deeds that you need to do to be in the exception. So it's actually quite scary, guys, because it shows that the vast majority of humans are going to be in loss, and only those will be in the exception who have iman, who do good deeds, who have perseverance, who enjoin in the truth. So it's just we should think about this, and we should definitely do all 4 things if we want to be in the exception. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us in this exception, in these exceptional people, and not make us not in a constant state of loss. Ameen. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Assalamu alaikum.